Hi, guys. Thank you for joining. This is Essence of Science, and today we're talking about birds. I'm Amanda Armagost.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence. Birds, they are like, but something I learned recently that, at least in English language, birds are always used for derogatory kind of terms, like bird brain, like, giving somebody the bird. And so, have
I
you
don't know.
noticed that?
No, I haven't noticed that. Eyes of a hawk.
Yeah, okay. But I was reading a book that they went through a lots of different terms that generally they're not seen favorably at or seen not as smart as like.
Yeah, people don't give them the credit that they deserve for sure.
Yeah. What do so I know you like birds. What
Oh,
do you like birds?
I love birds,
Well,
and I think it's really sad that bird watching is viewed as like an elderly activity. I feel like if people could just take a little bit of time to admire the birds and learn about birds, see like when you can see a bird flying in the sky, if you can point out what kind of bird that is, that's really exciting. And a lot of times you will understand the bird more, like what direction, like for example, I was driving, and this isn't about birds, but I was driving home over the weekend from somewhere up north, and I noticed a bunch of monarch butterflies, and they were all flying in the same direction. So I was thinking, okay, what time of year is it? And yeah, butterflies do migrate south for the winter. So obviously I was driving through their migration pattern, and same with birds. I think it's really cool that we can study their patterns and learn so much about them.
Now, it is. I think that is well understood that people are more familiar with other kind of animals than the birds. Like, if you show random people 10 mammals, most of people can name them no problem. But if you show them 10 different birds, they have more problem to naming them.
Probably,
And
especially male versus female.
yeah, but I think across the board, I think males are more colorful.
Yeah, they have to be.
They have to be, yeah. But why? Why do, especially in birds, males are so colorful and more, I would say, more
Flamboyant.
flamboyant. That's the word I was looking for than the female.
Well, obviously, there's two reasons that I can think of. Mating is the first reason. The males want to attract the female and show their little dance, which I love. I've actually seen that in real life. Seen 3 males competing for 1 female at my house.
Isn't it across all animals?
Well,
that males have to fight for the favor of the female?
But think about humans. Like males do a little bit to make themselves look better, but in like human life, the females are the ones making themselves beautiful. Where in birds, it's the males who are the beautiful ones. But then the female birds, they really can't be beautiful, bright, all this stuff because they have to be more protected.
But they still choose. The female choose the mate.
Yeah, the female chooses the mate.
And except there is a South American storks where the female fights for the male. Did you know that?
I didn't.
Okay. Well, say, what do you think? Why across the board, mostly, I mean, extremely common that male have to fight for the female? What do you think, what makes it different in that specific kind of stork in South America, I believe, that the female have to fight for the favor of the male? Why do you think it is? And it's so rare. It's so rare
I know.
that you couldn't guess, probably.
No, but let me think a little bit. Give me some time to guess.
Okay, you do that.
But while I'm thinking, did you know that crows actually date?
I have heard that they have very good social and they have best friend. They have wingman.
Yeah.
Wingman. It comes from that. Yeah.
But not only that, they live with their parents for a long time, like years. Years while they're finding the right mate. The crows do.
Hey, that sounds very familiar in some of people in my family.
Okay, so I don't know what the storks look like, but is it because the male stork is the one who watches over the babies?
Perfect. Exactly. So the mate then literally female takes off, goes somewhere else, and the male has to raise the babies.
And the female does.
Has to literally sit on it until they hatch, and then the male has to raise them, has to spend time, energy, and resources to raise them. So in that, but it is about who is going to spend more resources
Yeah.
to exceed those.
So the females don't come back?
No, they just have a baby, put an egg, mate, put an egg, move on to the next one.
Wow. That's out of character, like for most animals in general, not just
Yeah.
birds, but animals.
Yeah, but it is the case.
Okay,
it is,
queens.
yeah, lay egg and move on for the next one.
She's a free bird.
A free bird. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And I think and what I hear that as well in that group of storks, the female are more flamboyant and colorful and so on and so forth. Because if you're taking care of the babies, you have to be camouflaging the best.
You can't be colorful and beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, for the birds, they're still beautiful.
They're naturally beautiful.
They're naturally beautiful for the male birds.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they wouldn't fight for them. And I think nature uses a lot more clues than just what appears to human beautiful.
Yeah.
For the beauty, but it's not much different in mammals and human either. I think we think only the our visual clues that make something look beautiful to us. It is so much more than that. That the pheromones that they just smell. The idea of even we know that how a woman walks. They say like French woman or Italian woman are so sexy because the way they behave, the way they walk. Birds have literally are master of that, how they walk, how they dance, how they behave. Like there's this bird, and I would say if you're crazy about birds, you have to go to Amazons, because per square foot there are more species of birds there than anywhere else. Because it can support that. There's this bird that they open up their feathers, and they're in different colors, and then they use that different colors, like they change it, so almost it looks like you're watching a movie, that the color are changing and so on, by just flipping their feathers back and forth. And those that do the dance best have more children, because female like that shows coordination, that shows
exactly
or
confidence.
And confidence. And that, look at me, I'm so colorful, I'm so flamboyant, but still the other animal cannot eat me, cannot get me. So I'm agile, even though I have this disability. And make no mistakes, in wild, being colorful and being flamboyant is a disability. But they show they are still able to compensate for that. It gets better. They gather like certain things to this get interesting. In the same area, there are these birds that they use pebbles, the stuff that leads to their nest, but they choose it as such that it look like an optical illusion. So they get a big stone here and then smaller stone here. So when you are looking at it, you think things are getting much farther. So when the bird's standing there, it look bigger than it really is.
Cute.
No, this is the next level crazy, that they make this optical illusion to look bigger than they really are. Aren't some male people doing that as well?
Exactly.
That some men do that they try to, by the way they behave or do things, and they just try to appear bigger and more stronger than they really are.
Or they make themselves as big as they can.
As they can. That is the hard way.
Yeah,
but
they spend all their time in the gym to...
Or buy steroid online to bulk up things and so on. Do unhealthy things to appear healthy. That is what it is. It's in nature, that's a sign of health. So the human, we can do unhealthy things to appear healthy. So we get favor of the woman. The birds, they make optical illusion to, because they have shown that, like imagine, have you seen one of those optical illusion that when the person is walking, then they look smaller and bigger because they make those like squares, black and white.
Yeah.
They are not regular squares, that they change the shape and size of that, so that if you move, all of a sudden they we had some similar to that
Yeah.
in India, remember?
At the Taj Mahal.
At the Taj Mahal, the way the optical thing was, you go farther away and the Taj Mahal looked bigger. So birds seems to be a master of that as well.
Yeah, we really don't give birds enough credit for anything.
Hmm.
Like, think about it. They build their
Well, we
homes.
give them credit. They're tasty.
Actually, I was just reading a book about birds, and if you're like someone who studies birds,
Uh-huh.
usually you don't really care about chickens. I'm not talking about eating them, but people who study birds, ornithologists, is that what it's called?
Ornithologists.
Ornithologists. They don't.
What did you call them?
Ornithologists.
Ornithologist. Good one.
Missing one letter.
Yeah, orthology. Okay, move on.
When people who study birds do not really study chickens. They say that studying a chicken would be like someone who loves the ocean studying a goldfish.
Now, and the chickens, we have over thousands of years, we have just, I would say, having heavily selecting them to give us what we need, and being smart is not what we want from them.
Not
as a matter of fact,
all.
that always backfires for us. Who want to have have raccoons as a staple food? I mean, they destroy your entire thing, and they get out and they come and steal your stuff and so on. You want something that is in no ways a match for you, and easy to handle, and making them. But still, they have amazing
Chickens
abilities.
are smart too.
Well,
chickens are
they have amazing abilities.
But remember, we've talked about this before. Chickens are a lot smarter than people think. Like,
yes,
they've done this similar.
They're hunters.
Well, not only that, but they communicate with each other. They're known to even like give names to each other, certain sounds, and they give names to their owners.
Well, yeah, I don't dispute that. They have at their own level their level of intelligence and
language.
And language and so on. All animals have. Now, see, we are way past that point that we think that humans are the only intelligent animal, or we have awareness of our existence and so on. We have way past that. No, scientifically.
Yeah, scientifically.
We have way
but
past
not
that.
Not really society.
Yeah, I mean, we as a society, as a people, we are still ignorant about that. We think the whole universe is made for pleasure.
I still think about when in my yoga class, they wanted me to sign a contract that said that I think that the human is the smartest machine in the world, or like the human body is the most advanced machine in the world. And I was thinking, a starfish can literally regrow its arm. A lizard can let go of its tail to save itself. If I lost my arm, not only am I not going to regrow it, but my life is like dramatically impacted.
Mm-hmm.
I think, yeah, we don't give animals enough credit at all.
Yeah, but you're lucky that you don't have to throw your arm away when a lion is hunting you. Oh, I have my arm. Let me go.
But if a lion is hunting me, I would want to throw my arm away so I can get away from the lion.
So, birds. What is your favorite bird?
I don't have a favorite bird.
No? People usually do.
I guess I would say, like, if I was just going to choose off of the top of my head right now, it would be a barred owl, because of my experience recently where I saw like 3 barred owls all together. And then there's actually a family of barred owls who live in my backyard. So when I sleep with the windows open, I can hear them. And normally, a barred owl, the sound in the US, we say, it says, "Who cooks for you?" Who cooks for you? That's what they say. But that's not the only thing they say.
Go ahead.
The ones in my backyard literally sound like monkeys.
They talk to you?
They're talking to each other. I don't know what they're saying. But they're like making...
You did it really good. Do it one more time.
Making all these crazy noises like...
Wow, you should be in the Audubon Society.
You know I love birds.
Yeah.
But I would say the barred owl is
how do you
favorite.
say that? The bird of a
birds of a feather stick together.
Bird of a feather stick together. No, did you know about the owl that they are extremely specialists and there are two group of birds, specialists and generalists.
Yeah.
Um, specialists, they're born with abilities that they are out of ordinary. I mean, amazing. Like, did you know, um, a owl compared to all animals, they have the most stealth, most quiet kind of flight
No, I
than
didn't.
any other animals. I mean, this is amazing. They put them in like a room that with this tiles that absorb the sounds and so on. They measure that and so on. Like, there is a huge gap between owls and any other animal. That's why in the night they can fly so stealth and then get their praise, and they are so good at it. And compared to them, yeah, all the animals are like jackhammers. Okay, they are extremely loud compared to owls, and as well there are lots of things about the shape of the owl and the way they uh, fly. We use that information to actually create flying machines that are stealth. Like we have this extremely expensive helicopter that we used actually when they went and captured Osama bin Laden. Uh, they used those kind of helicopters just because they were so quiet and so on. And lots of understanding of how the noise is produced and so on is of studying the owl actually. So but there's something they say the specialists they don't have to be smart.
Yeah, right. That's what.
And
I was
then we have the
thinking.
generalist,
Like a crow.
Like a crow.
My other favorite bird.
Oh, that's my favorite bird
Actually,
too.
it's one of my life goals to become friends with a crow and receive a gift.
Yeah, did you know in most of the states it's actually legal to own a crow?
And I don't want to own it. And
I want to own it.
And
I want to have a
that's pretty
crow.
new. That's pretty new.
I want to have a crow pet.
It was common in the 30s to have a pet crow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Murder.
A flock of crows is a murder.
No, that's a TikTok. You should go and watch it. I made it. Where was it? In Florida, and you couldn't stop laughing at me. But that's true, right?
So why is the crow your favorite bird?
It is. They have reasoning capacity beyond our imagination. That they have funerals, they have friends, they babysit for each other,
they have
games, I mean, imagine they have a concept of death.
Yeah.
And it gets even better. They did that study, I forgot where it was, but I think it was somewhere in maybe Carolinas and so on.
Say the study, I might know it. Just say it, I might know it.
Okay, so the people start putting masks on, and then go and do just catch crows and then tag them and so on. So negative, bad people. But they did it only in one part of the state or somewhere. That on the other side of the states, generation later, were crows that have never seen that person would recognize that mask and be negative, like act negatively. It seems that they have a way to communicate features of a person that they can pass on.
Didn't they also take the masks and make them upside down, and the crows still
recognize them? Yes, that's the same study.
And I think magpies are related to crows. Magpies, ravens, they're all in the corvid group.
What's the difference between raven and crows?
A raven is bigger than a crow, but they're just as smart. Mm-hmm. They're all smart, just like crows.
We all have heard about parrots talking, but
crows can talk.
Crows can talk.
You can and ravens and magpies can talk too.
Yeah.
And I hope I'm not getting a magpie mixed up with a mockingbird, but I think magpies trick humans on purpose in the wild by mimicking them.
Yeah.
They can mimic car horns. They can mimic dogs barking.
They can manipulate us.
Yeah, and they do.
So give me some of your best crow stories that if you know of about how smart they are.
Okay, well, I mean, I have a lot, but it's mostly like playful stuff. Like, and we've talked about these before in the pod, so I won't go too into details, but there's evidence that the whole corvid group, like magpies, crows, they like to play games. So what they do is in at the shore in near the ocean, they take a piece of driftwood and go
Sliding.
windsurfing
And they do it on the
in the winter on
in the
snow.
winter on snow in the roofs.
Yeah.
Actually, they do that quite often.
And the way that people know that they're purposely doing this is because they source out the best piece of wood to like
Smoothest.
the smoothest piece of wood to sit on, and they do it multiple times.
They take it up,
go
and
down
then
and go back.
Now, one of my story is that, and this has been I've been studying in Japan, that they bring these nuts. You mean most of nuts are in a hard shell.
Mhm.
It's hard for them to break. They go to the traffic stop. When it's red, they drop it. When it's green, cars drive over it. They break it. When it's red again, they go eat the inside of it.
Yeah. And then I also have a silly story from Japanese crows. Japanese crows are known to play tricks on Japanese deer, and they pick up the deer poop and put it in the deer's ears.
Why did they do that?
I don't know.
That is just mischievous. That's something you would do.
They go pick up the deer's own poop and put it.
And it's just like a teenager just in the high school.
But did you know that crows help wolves hunt?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the crows can help to lead the wolves to where they should be hunting because they benefit somehow. I think the crows go and pick up the scraps when the wolves are
I guess
done.
that makes sense. Now, there was another study that did get interesting. There is inside of a box, there is food. And there is a piece of stick that you can, or just a small sort of branch that you can pick up. You can push. There's a hole there. You can push it in, but the stick is not big enough. Now, there is another contraption that use the small stick to get the big stick. It's more complex than that. So use a tool to get a better tool to get the food. They did it with some people. I thought they were teenagers and so on, or maybe younger. It seems that the crows can figure out much faster than people.
I read
like a puzzle.
I read something about crows being about as smart as a 7-year-old.
No, the crows figured it out under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas I think those kids took them longer to figure that out.
Yeah.
So I think that's amazing.
Oh, they're amazing. I mean, people even made vending machines for crows.
And I think I have heard about that. Tell me, what's that about?
Where the crows they want to entice the crows to clean up. So, and crows like little things. So they entice the crows to clean up garbage, put it in the vending machine, and then they get a treat.
Yeah, I think I heard that they do it with actually like a recyclable thing.
Yeah.
That, they take a can, bring it there and so on, and then they get some food and so on. And then I heard as well, I mean, maybe it's an urban legend and so on. The reason you cannot have a pet crow is because lots of people trained their crows to go and steal money.
I would believe that.
And because they know exactly what money is.
And they love shiny stuff.
Well, they actually money. They have been trained to go to places and steal money. Now, there was another study in Hawaii that this is sparrows now, not crows, but the supermarket and so on, cafeterias or restaurant or wherever they have these automatic doors. The sparrow. By the way, they are actually thugs of the animal world.
I know. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, they fly off that that sensor. They opens up the door. They go in and they do a self-service, and then they go on the other side, go next to the motion sensor, and open up the door and fly back out.
Well, if anyone's been to a Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, there's always sparrows in there.
Yeah.
And where are the sparrows always? In the animal food section, eating the seeds.
And especially, you see some of those, if you go there, pay attention, you see some random thing, all of a sudden they have a hole in them, the animal food, and then you pick it up and start spilling out. How do you think that hole is coming from?
Sparrows.
Yeah, sparrows are especially nasty.
Aren't they really nasty, but also pretty smart?
Well, you see, all the generalists are smart. They have to be smart. And sparrows are generalists, meaning that they eat whatever they can and
They
the
sleep wherever they
opportunists.
can. They're not picky about where their nest is.
It has been even shown that sometimes they kill another bigger bird and live inside of the big bird. They make that bird to their own nest. Can you imagine how badass that is?
I can imagine, because we have these birds in my neighborhood. They're called cowbirds. They look kind of like a crow, but they have like a crow. They're smaller than a crow. They're black, but they have a brown head.
Mm-hmm.
These naughty birds lay their eggs inside of like a sparrow nest or someone else's nest and abandon their eggs, so that other mom has to raise this egg.
The cuckoo.
But then once the egg hatches, that baby starves all the other babies.
Mm-hmm. That's like cuckoo. That is as well, quite significant, unbelievable feat that they have, that they can use the environment to their to their advantage, and like what you just said, that they put their that it get even worse or better, whatever you call it. They and they know what animal they can play it with and what birds they cannot play it.
Yeah.
Because they're smart. They know who they can take advantage of. And when their chick is born, it automatically push all the other chicks. So
out.
Then you see that all of a sudden, I'm sure you have seen that in some TikTok or social media, that this tiny little animal brings a big worm, and the chick is bigger than the actual, because these are the way they do that they go to smaller birds.
Yeah.
It seems that they are dumb enough to do that, and then you see the parent are working the butt off,
their tail feathers off,
the tail feathers off, and bring food for this ginormous chick with the mouth that can swallow the whole. And then
I know.
And then they keep doing it.
But the sad thing about that is birds are more emotional than we think. Actually, like sometimes I'm sure a lot of people have seen this. Sometimes when I'm driving, I see a giant bird getting chased by a tiny bird. And that's because birds are way more emotional than we think, and they want to defend their babies.
And compared to other animals, they are most monogamous animals on the planet.
Yeah, a lot of them are, yeah.
And it gets even more interesting that, have you ever seen no, I mean, this is just scientifically is important. Have you seen ever a black swan?
No, only white.
But there are black swans. But I think that's how it started. Then some people have seen two black swan pair that bonded and so on and so forth. But then when you do genetic tests and so on, only male swan can be black. White female swan cannot be black. So all of a sudden you see two black swan. Then they did additional studies, say this is not unusual at all. Many of those lovebirds, swans, are gay pairs.
Same with ducks.
But then you see they have chicks. How does that come? That's get interesting. That's like the
surrogate.
No, not really. Well, they bond for life.
Yeah.
And they are gay swans. So during the mating, one of them goes and tricks a female swan to mate with them. They get the eggs. They wait until the eggs are hatched, and then the two blacks or two gay swan, they go literally mob the female out and take over the chicks. This is really next level evil, You're gay, you don't have access to things that we have, and then you go trick that female that, oh, I found the life partner, have the babies, and then go together, mob, and literally, they threaten and they chase them out to have the babies.
Yeah, well.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. I knew that they were gay, and I knew that a lot of ducks are gay too.
Nothing. The ducks are
super gay.
No, they're horrible animals, by the way. Eat ducks. I don't mind at all. Eat ducks.
Ducks are actually really good at cleaning. They're dirty, nasty animals. I'm not saying you should have ducks, but if you have a lot of weeds, ducks are really good at eating weeds.
No, but ducks are only we consider them nasty and dirty because their poop
Is
is
slimy
sticky.
and it gets everywhere. And not only that, but it's bigger than chicken poop and more than chicken poop.
Yeah, and as well, obviously they can fly. It's harder for you to keep them. They give half number of the eggs compared to the thing and so on, and
they're louder than chickens.
They're louder
too.
And they're smart as well,
and
that's a problem. They're messier, stinkier, and some because of the poop again.
And because they're water, you have to. They're pooping in the water, so
and
if
they're
it's a
sexual
pool,
deviants.
Yeah, and they're,
ducks are nasty animals.
The female ducks really must have gone through something historically. Like they must have been sick of it, done with men, because they actually they changed their whole reproductive system so that like a duck's. Sorry for everyone who's squeamish. A duck's penis is in the shape of a corkscrew.
And in all the animal kingdom, the size of the penis to the size of the animal is biggest in ducks. So nobody compares to duck when it comes to the size.
The female ducks evolved so that if the male corkscrew penis is going to the right, the female vagina goes to the left. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, but I think it's a little more complex than that. So their sexual, the mating of the ducks is something as a violent thing. As a matter of fact, the penis of the male duck has barbs.
Just like a cat.
And literally, almost every interaction is like
It's unconsensual.
It's a rape, like a rape.
We can say it's unconsensual.
Unconsensual, yeah. And so the female duck has developed this method that if they don't desire that mate to be the father of their babies, they have this so-called wrong direction in their vagina.
So they don't get pregnant.
So they can control that where that damn God barb the penis goes to, so that it doesn't end up fertilizing the eggs and so on. So imagine how amazing the nature must be to create something like that. And I didn't know that, but every year they grow a new penis.
So it falls off?
Yeah, I guess. That is it. They put it really, they abuse it a lot. So it has to grow every year. They have to grow a new one.
That makes me wonder because, you can go out looking for owl pellets.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can find
Well, you go and tell us in the next podcast. I'm not going to go look for.
Do you know about swans? How you told me this? Swans develop a little lump on their beak.
Did I tell you that? I don't remember telling you that.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Okay,
swans develop a lump on their beak during mating season. The females do. Do you know why?
No.
Me neither.
No. And we both don't know it.
But I do know that it falls off at the end of the year.
Yeah, well, that's not unusual for lots of animals have a seasonal kind of features that has only a function for that mating process.
You know what's a bird that's similar to crows?
Tell me.
Blue jays. They're not in the same family, but they're like genetically very similar. They're not the exact same family, but close. What do you know about blue jays?
Not much.
Blue jays they're very intelligent birds. They're about the same size as a crow, brightly colored, blue. And growing up, I was taught to hate blue jays. Obviously, I don't because I love all animals. But blue jays are known to be very aggressive. Mm-hmm. They terrorize all the other birds in the neighborhood. They steal from them. They just cause a lot of drama. But recently I was reading a book and the author of the book says blue jays aren't as bad as we think. Blue jays are actually just your loud drunk friend who you can rely on when you're in trouble. Because even though we think that blue jays are so bad and aggressive, a lot of times when we see blue jays being aggressive, it's actually because they're helping a bird who's being aggressed by another bird.
Okay, so this sounds like a mother who's trying to justify the mischief of their sons, of their troubled sons. That's how it sounds to me.
No, a blue jay will see a bird in trouble, and when it's being harassed by another bird, so let's say a crow is, harassing a chickadee. The blue jay will go and help the chickadee.
Why is chickadee called chickadee?
Are you seriously asking me, or do you just want me to tell you?
I want you to tell me.
because they say chickadee dee 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 dee, and the D's actually tell you what they're talking about. The number of D's.
Is that right? Like
Yeah.
I'm Groot, like that a Marvel thing that there's a creature. It says is always I'm Groot, but every time the way it says I'm Groot, it means something else.
Yeah,
So they just
maybe.
d. Maybe they got it from there.
Maybe. Yeah, like if a chickadee says chickadee dee, it might mean one thing, but if they say chickadee dee 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 dee, like more
So what
D's,
does it mean?
I don't
You
remember.
don't speak chickadee?
No, well, I learned it a little bit, but I don't remember what means what. But I know like one means like I'm getting food for you, and then another one means there's danger. Watch out.
Oh wow. Well, um, what other different kind of birds are out there, like that are interesting for us? I mean, obviously, we didn't. You see, this is the first time I didn't go millions of years
Let's
back.
not. We can do
Why
it in
not?
another
That's
one.
interesting, because birds are dinosaurs didn't die. Birds are dinosaurs.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, birds are now. Look at the turkey.
Well,
Turkey is take the feather of a turkey off. Don't do that. But
well, you can do that around Thanksgiving.
no. But when you then watch them walk, behave, and so on, the birds are dinosaurs, and we had obviously lots of different dinosaurs, and they say the reason the flying dinosaurs survived is because they could have more habitat than the non-flying dinosaurs.
They can also probably cover more ground faster for migrating and stuff.
Yeah, and the migration is a big deal for the birds.
I want to talk about that.
Yes,
but,
please.
Did you see recently? I mean, it wasn't that recent, maybe within the last year or 2 years. They found some dinosaur bones that had resin near it, and there were feathers in the resin.
Yeah, so most of the time, as a matter of fact, go look for that. They have done these studies, like take the an animal that right now exists, just take the bone because that's all we get from dinosaurs. Then they try to reconstruct through the same process, and then this comes that how an elephant or thing they look nothing like what they are. So
after this, I want you to look up a pug skeleton.
Yeah, so what I'm getting at, dinosaurs probably didn't really look the way we think they looked like. They looked a lot different, and most of them probably had feather or feather-like features that we don't know about that because they didn't survive.
Yeah.
But I think there are a few things about the dinosaurs that really make them master of what they are doing. What do you think? What do you think the birds or dinosaurs had advantage to the reptiles? What make them really? Now reptiles, they have been steady. They're successful in their own niche and so on. But the dinosaurs and the bird, they exploded. They captured everything. What make them really so successful?
Well, we talked about how, like, when you're flying, you can go further than walking.
That is but mammals are exploded without flying. Most of mammals don't fly. So it was actually the warm-blooded.
Yeah.
They could regulate their own temperature. They didn't rely on the outside temperature to have a niche. They could adapt to many more habitat. And as well, obviously, the chickens, dinosaurs, birds, they lay eggs, obviously, and reptiles lay egg and so on. So imagine by being able to, like, for most of the reptile, they lay the egg and they go away, whereas the dinosaurs, or to the best of our knowledge, dinosaurs and the birds, they hatch the egg, they stay there, and they parent their children to a good degree.
Yeah.
Okay, so contrary to reptiles. So you see that enables them to be more successful, to have more offspring and be in more different variable kind of situations. So and we mammal, obviously we did it even better. We keep them inside until they're ready to go out. But do you know of obviously you know all about the penguins, that which are birds, obviously. Do penguins have feathers?
And aren't they really tiny feathers?
Microscopic.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the idea that they have this hollow thing that when they have the best insulation. That's why they can survive in such a harsh condition like Antarctica and so on. And as well that they have a layer of fat over that it, when they are in water, they are never touching the water.
And if you want to do an experiment for what it's like to be in really cold water as a penguin or like a whale or something, I did this when I was in school. We put our hand in peanut butter, which is a fat, and then we cut a hole in the lake and put our hand in the lake to
Then
see how long it
put-
would take to get cold.
Obviously, mammals use the blubber fat for insulation, and a penguin use their feather. A different mechanism, but very
Yeah.
similar effect at the end of the day.
And so many bird feathers are very different from each other. Have you ever seen like an I guess an eagle feather is not a hawk feather or something and broken it in half?
No, I haven't seen that.
The white part that's hard is actually hollow on
Yeah,
the
oh yeah,
inside.
that I knew.
But think about, we were talking about over the weekend, ducks. Ducks don't get as cold because their feathers don't even absorb water. They repel water.
Most of birds, the feather actually is the best insulator and repellent.
And that's why people say act like a duck.
Yeah.
Let things just slide off of you. Don't let it
I have
bother
heard
you.
that. Let the water just bounce off you.
But let's talk about migrating.
Oh, that's such an amazing thing, and how they do that. And obviously, we have all heard about this from a long time ago until just not long ago. These birds that we use as a messenger, and
Pigeons.
then pigeons, but as well some other animals, some other birds, but as well their ability to navigate. That's make them, they can go from thousands of miles and always end up in the same place. As a matter of fact, um, there are birds, same kind of species of birds, but they have their own summer and winter. And even though they cross oceans, they end up like birds from one part of Canada, they go to one area in Africa. Birds 200 miles away from in Canada go to another way in Africa, and they always go to the same place.
Yep.
And how they are able to navigate that, and that's the amazing thing. And that there have been a lot of studies about how they are able to do that. Certainly, we have been thinking about the celestial navigation. We have discovered this magnetite, we call them, in the brain. And some people thought maybe it's the retina that is something magnetic, but it's going back and forth. But it seems that somewhere in their brain, there is a small particle magnetic substance that it aligns in their certain direction, and they have almost like a library. They say like if the magnetic field is this strong in this direction and this angle to the Earth, because magnetic, part of the Earth, they always come out of the Earth and then go around the Earth. Based on that angle that they come out, based on the angle of the magnetic field, you know how far you are away from equator.
Yep.
And it seems that they can navigate much better than almost anything we can, and always end up in the same place.
And it's like they also have this ancestral knowledge or something like that because they communicate with each other. They have like they can fly while sleeping.
That get interesting. They don't really fly while they are sleeping.
They have half of their brain awake.
Yes, and they make this amazing. They have this amazing feat. By the way, sleep is a life necessity. It's not optional. If you don't sleep, you will die, no matter what kind of animal you are. All our brain needs that. As a matter of fact, you can after 3 days of sleep, 90% of the people, human being, have symptoms of schizophrenia, and after 4 or 5 days, if you can really do that, they die. People die. Okay, so when birds, the same thing. But what they do, they let half of the brain sleep, the other half is activated, and then they can go in a really short interval back and forth and so on. It's just ability to do that. It's amazing.
Right. But even though they can pretty much fly while sleeping, they still do need to take breaks and they need to recharge. And somehow these birds know exactly where they're able to take these breaks.
Except few species that they eat while they fly, they mate while they fly, and they go for 10 months of flight without touching the ground. As a matter of fact, if they land, they cannot take off from a flat ground. They have to be on a height because they are so adapted to flight and they're so efficient.
But they have to prepare a lot before they fly.
Yeah.
They don't get to just like, tomorrow we're leaving. They're preparing for a long time, getting their energy reserves ready. And if
driving their husband to madness.
And if they don't prepare properly, they will die. 50% of birds die while migrating.
And lots of birds as well die during migration and other things. But the most killer of all birds and other animals is the habitat loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because we decide we want to go and build a highway or a farming land or resort and so on and so forth. Orchard, yeah.
Oh, no, I was going to say something a little bit more aggressive.
Well, like what?
Or we just want to bomb an entire country. Like, do you think the animals can keep living there after we completely destroy everything?
Yeah, well, we human beings have been destructive to our planet and all the living beings for a long time.
Yeah.
Now, I wanted to actually talk.
Well, and light pollution also destroys birds' migrations paths.
Very, very important.
Which is why a lot of people don't know this, but you really should not keep your outside lights on all the time, especially in the fall. In the fall, you should turn off your outside lights at nighttime because the light pollution interferes with the birds' migrating patterns.
And you get a double whammy. You reduce your
electricity bill too.
No, well, yeah, that's the third whammy. You, if you do it just for the bill, do it just for that. But carbon emission and that the effect on the migratory bird and so on, they're all well studied and all true.
50% of birds dying migrating is a huge number.
Yeah.
And that I'm not just making it up off the top of my head.
Yeah, this one you're not. Now, I just want to say a few words about penguins because we cannot finish talking about birds without talking about penguins.
And if you're really curious about penguins, we did a whole penguin episode recently, so you can go watch that.
Yes, do that as well, but just trivia. Did you know penguins produce milk?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, it is a milky substance. It's not like they eat and regurgitate and so on. They actually produce in their esophagus, they have this glands that produce milk-like material for their chicks.
Okay.
And did you know how a male penguin, especially not the emperor, but the chinstrap penguin, they show their love for a woman, for a female penguin, is gathering pebbles.
Yeah, I think that's really common knowledge.
Is it?
Yeah.
But did you know
we have Happy Feet, the movie Happy
Feet.
Nice.
Yeah. But did you know some penguin go steal other penguins'
I did know
pebbles?
I did know that.
And then if a penguin is stealing pebbles from other penguins,
he's ostracized.
If they get caught,
they go to penguin jail.
I don't know
which
what
is
penguin
an
jail
emotional
look like.
place to be.
Yeah, no, but if they steal other penguins' pebbles, they never leave their own pebble alone. So meaning that when they're thieves, they know that somebody else can be a thief, then they don't trust anybody else anymore. But if they're not thieves themselves, they do leave their nest alone. When they come back, they see that maybe I was mistaken, maybe I didn't have 20 pebbles, maybe it just was 19 or something. Yeah, but then if they catch another penguin stealing their thing, then there is a big drama. Understandably, right?
Of course. Okay, do you know anything about ostriches?
Well, I just know that they have a really bad kick. They can kill. There's a group of birds that non-flight or non-flying birds, and ostrich is one of them. And the other one,
they can run.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Oh my God! Ostriches and emus, watching them run is scary and funny at the same time.
Yeah, and it was this other bird. It wasn't an ostrich or emu, but it was a bird that looked like a prehistoric thing, and.
Like the dodo bird?
I think so. They're as large as ostriches,
I've
but they can
seen,
kill you.
and
And
they're
they have in their feet, they
colorful.
have this the thorn that is like the 5 inch long or 4 inch long, like a thorn, like a chickens. The chicken have that as well.
Oh,
But
trust me.
imagine now 10 times bigger, and it can poke you in the head and.
Which is interesting. I guess I never really thought about birds defending themselves by kicking, but I've seen my chickens obviously attack my dog, and it was a wing, feet, and beak attack. All five things all at once. So it makes sense. I've seen chickens kick.
Yeah, that can be. Well, have you ever seen a chicken protecting the chicks?
No.
Oh, okay. That is something that I think that the first time I discovered, we have a word for that. Somebody chickened out, right? We say they're like cowards and so on.
Yeah.
But try to go and even close to the chicks of a chicken, they turn into monsters.
Because
so they love the children.
Exactly. Birds love their children just like mammals. Maybe not all birds, but same not all mammals.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever been attacked by a bird?
Chickens?
I've been attacked by a red-winged blackbird.
Really?
Yeah.
What were you doing?
Walking Lily. I was just walking Lily through like a swamp. A swamp had a bridge, and we were walking on the bridge, and all of a sudden this red-winged blackbird was biting my hair, pulling my hair because I was walking past her nest.
Were you by any chance on a broom when that happened?
Not this time.
Not this time. Okay. I think we really had some nice trivia about the birds. I hope you guys learned something about them today.
Thank you guys for watching. This was Essence of Science, and we talked about birds. I'm Amanda Armagost.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence.
Have a good weekend.